Welcome to K-Drama Echoes, the home of unforgettable love stories and cinematic secrets that still echo long after the cameras stop rolling. Before we begin, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay connected to every heartbeat of K-drama love and legend. Lee Min-ho and Bae Suzy, two names Seoul still whispers about. A love story that faded too quickly, yet stamped itself into the memory of a generation. Not because of how long it lasted, but because of how deeply it was felt. They didn't begin in a studio or at a glamorous award show, where glitter and applause drown out truth. No, their story began quietly, between takes, far from the roles they were trying to escape. Lee Min-ho was already the reigning king of K-drama, and Bae Suzy, fresh from her idol past, was stepping into the realm of respected actresses. While others saw stars, they saw something simpler in each other. Rest, calm, a place where fame didn't have to explain itself. Then came that day in March 2015. Dispatch finally released their photos. The two of them in London, disguised under large coats and quiet smiles. Within minutes, the news reached every corner of the internet. The nation's golden visuals were in love. Fans screamed. News feeds exploded. Superstardom collided with privacy in the way only Korea knows how. Soon after, both their agencies confirmed the headline. The two have started dating recently with sincere feelings. Just 8 words, and suddenly every blink, every movement, every Instagram post became inspected, worshipped, or judged. But love doesn't live in headlines. Love lives in the moments no one sees. In the calls at 2 a.m. when they missed each other too much. In the quiet dinners no camera ever caught. In the way she would laugh at his jokes not because he was famous, but because he was Min-ho. And perhaps the only person who could talk to her without pretending she was Suzy, the idol, the beauty, the star. For almost 3 years they lived like this. Together but apart. Their schedules worked against them. His dramas, her music. His enlistment, her film shoots. Planes and airports stood between their hearts more often than the public ever knew. And no matter how much they cared, love under a spotlight grows heavier until it finally asks, "Can you carry me even now?" In late 2017, the news broke. They had separated. And just like their beginning, they chose grace over drama. A statement emerged. It is true they have broken up. They have decided to remain good friends. Their story didn't end with betrayal or scandal. It ended with a quiet goodbye, said with trembling hearts. But they chose to protect each other, even in the breakup. They chose memories over bitterness. It wasn't the way the world wanted it, but perhaps it was the only way they could survive it. Years passed. Lee Min-ho returned from military service stronger, calmer, more mature. A man who had learned to rebuild himself without applause. Suzy poured her heart into her roles, turning sorrow into skill, silence into strength. They never denied what they once were. They just learned how to move forward without turning away. But you and I know this. Love like that doesn't disappear. It leaves shadows where joy once stood. It triggers warmth in the rarest glances and unexpected interviews. Even now, in a K-drama world filled with new ships and scandals, fans still ask themselves, what really happened? Why did it end? Could it have worked? Maybe it could have. Maybe it still matters. Because the truth is not about whether they are together today. The truth is that they once loved, honestly, deeply, and with everything they had, in a world that wanted them to be perfect instead of human. Lee Min-ho and Bae Suzy didn't give us a fairy tale ending. They gave us something more real. A reminder that even the most beautiful stories are borrowed from time. A reminder that heartbreak doesn't erase what once was beautiful. It simply marks it with meaning. Their love might have stopped, but the echo hasn't. It still haunts fans when they hear a familiar's. When they see her smiling on a red carpet. When he stares into a character's eyes a little too long. Somewhere inside we still wonder. Could they have been endgame in a world less cruel? Some stories aren't meant to last forever. But maybe the most beautiful kind of love is the kind that doesn't end, even when it's over. The kind that leaves a mark. Not a scar. The kind that turns into a quiet kind of forever, woven into memories, into music, into the way we once believed in something bigger than ourselves. Lee Min-ho and Bae Suzy were never just headlines or dispatch photos. They were two hearts that tried, two people who gave love a chance, even when the world wouldn't give them space to breathe. For a moment in time they found something real, something honest, something that made the stars feel closer than ever. And maybe, just maybe, that's what love is supposed to be. Not perfect, not permanent, but unforgettable. Because somewhere, in a universe not tied to schedules, fans, or fame, they are still walking side by side under the street lamps of Gangnam. Still laughing over late-night noodles. Still sharing secret smiles no camera ever caught. And even if that moment only lives in memory now, it's still love. A love that didn't get a final scene, but will always have a place in the story. So if you ever hear a song that reminds you of them, if you ever see a scene where a man looks at a woman soft and full of unspoken words, if you ever feel your heart tremble for reasons you can't explain, that's the echo. Their echo. And some echoes never fade. This has been K-Drama Echoes. If this love story touched you, please hit the like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you still believe in love that ends too soon but feels like forever. Until the next heartbeat, the next whisper, the next secret behind the spotlight. Keep believing. Because somewhere, somehow, love lives on.